training at that time where, you know, trainers would have group classes, brand new dogs, anywhere from 6 to 10 dogs in a class, and these dogs were outfitted with whether it be slip chains, martingale collars, or even prong collars. And what it was is they used corrections to keep dogs in line. They found it was a little bit more efficient in the way of training. It was easier to get really riled up dogs a little bit more under control quickly. And at the same time, for running a group of people, it just made it that much more easier. Now, with that said, it did come with some flaws. Now, the dogs, you know, they would experience just a little bit more in the way of stress, because some of the handlers, sometimes they would overcorrect the dog. Some handlers would undercorrect the dog, which actually would fuel more in the way of, let's say, excitement or aggression from said dog. And so it was a little bit more challenging that way, but eventually they did get the job done. And I remember I went with a friend of mine at the time with his dog, and just to spectate and watch how they ran these classes, because again, I was new to training. And I was amazed at how fast from day 1 to, let's say, day 5, where they were able to get all these dogs heeling around the room, doing, you know, sit stays and down stays together, and there was really and truly not much trouble. I mean, you get the odd dog that would act up, but you know, the instructor would come in, take control of the leash, and straighten everything out. But that was the training style of the time. So literally, it was correct and praise with your hands. There wasn't much treats involved. It was just command, correction, praise. This is how they did training. With that said, why they decided to use more, once again, it cut your training time in half. Like I said, 50%. You didn't have to do as many repetitions to get your point across to the dog. It also brought about a little bit more in the way of reliability. With Compulsion now, when taking the dog out in public or working it with heavy distractions, we found that the corrections themselves brought a little bit more in the way of reliability quickly, as opposed to trying to use treats or toys. The treats were great in the beginning if you were going to use treats for establishing behaviors, but ultimately for getting that reliability when you're out in public, the corrections seemed to work a little bit faster. And again, it was just that whole thing about, we'll use the word fear, the fear of correction that would cause a dog to stay in line. And we know that fear is one of the greatest motivators out there, whether you're a dog, an elephant, or a human.